am never letting you lick me again. Off rip, I start the camera, look over to the side, and my cat is just eating her coochie, like nibbling. And then, oh, don't get me started on care. Nigga, you wake me up in the middle of the night biting my nose and my lips. Don't piss me off. You eat your ass and then you go come and try and bite my lips and my nose. Hello and welcome to the Random Talks, where we speak of everything and nothing at the same damn time. Like, I love cats. I really do. I have two. I love my children. But some things you can't unsee. Quick little disclaimer on anyone that is new to the channel. Today will be a beach episode. When I say beach episode, I usually have an episode once in a while where it's like it's not as structured as the rest of the Random Talks, which, if you can even call it that. But it's a beach episode, okay? We're just gonna be talking shit. So I do have here some Am I the Devil? And I know you might be asking, what in the holy hex is that? Well, let me inform you. So if you don't know what Am I the Asshole is, it's basically a forum on Reddit. Is that what you can call it? I don't know. But it's a little thing on Reddit. You just thread and you talk shit about something that happened in your life, and people do a verdict of if you're the asshole or not. Now, Am I the Devil is a different fucking level. So people have categorized your story out of Am I the Asshole because you've jumped from asshole to Satan. Okay? You have jumped from the asshole to Satan. So now us, me and you and I and me and you, we're gonna determine if they're actually just like assholes or the devil for real. Bro, this first one said my negligence cost my partner her life and I'm about to lose everything. We have content warnings of violence and death. You're the devil. I'm sorry. I don't need to read anymore for me to know, but I'm gonna read more because now I want to know what the fuck happened. But I already know off rip you the devil. I, 35 male, have been married to Lisa, 28 female, for 3 years. Together, 7. A year ago, I fell deeply in love with Amy, 24 female, and had been planning to end my marriage for her. Wow. I know it's terrible and not what my wife deserves, but we were the real thing. Wow. 2 weeks ago, she had an allergic reaction when we were getting food after work, but she used her EpiPen and seemed mostly okay afterwards. She usually gets checked at the hospital after a reaction, but I asked if I could take her home and she could get her friend to drive her because my wife was expecting me back. I'm gonna cut it out, but I just had to take a deep breath. So you dropped your mistress off at home because you needed to get back to your wife. You hearing it? Let me say it again. He dropped off his partner for life, was a real thing, off at home after she just had an allergic reaction because what, everyone? He needed to get back home to his wife. I just had to make sure we all heard it the way that I heard it. Okay. All I know is that she had a secondary reaction that evening and died. Russ. I didn't even find out about it until the following Monday through a work email. It has been eating me up ever since, and I will never forgive myself for not sacrificing an hour of my time to possibly save her. I sent some childish messages to Amy when I didn't hear from her over the weekend because I thought she was angry I didn't take her to the hospital. I'm thankful she never saw them, and ashamed I assumed the worst. But I have always hated being ignored and lose my cool when it happens. It's not a regular occurrence, and I would have more than made it up to her. There's one thing that I want to take away from what he said really quickly. Did anyone else notice that he stated, I have this thing that I do, but it's not that bad. It doesn't happen all the time. And I would make it up to her after. So you spaz out first, you get angry, knowing you're getting angry, and then be like, but you know how I get. So instead of you working on yourself to not do this thing and finding out the root of the problem, you rather live with it and expect other people to live with it. My nigga, you have a wife. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. You have a wife. Listen, because if a nigga got a wife and he hit me up, first of all, go back home, okay? I'm going to send you back home. I'm not Carrie from Sex and the City. You can't stay over here. You need to go back home. But let's just say miraculously, I'm with this person. I like this person, blah, 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 right? Okay, cool. You see how quickly you were able to drop her off home? Because what? Because you needed to get back home to your wife. Why the fuck do you think I'm going to respond back to you? Oh, yes, king. Let me respond back to him real quick. Y'all hear how selfish that sounds? You know you hate getting ignored. You blow up. Then you be like, I'll make it up to you later. No, nigga, fix that problem. Fuck are you talking about? You have some unhealed fucking trauma that you're trying to bring to me, and you have a wife. So you're bringing to me unhealed trauma and a wife. Like what? Yesterday at work, HR and the legal team were in the CEO's office all day. and my manager ended up canceling our project meeting because he was with him all afternoon. I was on edge, but an affair isn't exactly a corporate crisis, and I thought something would have already happened if anyone knew. I am now 99 certain it was about me. A few hours ago, I received a message from Amy's phone, which said, "This is Amy's brother, Tom. I want you to know it was me." I tried the call, but it went straight to voicemail and none of my messages are being delivered. I tried to call my manager more times than I should have, and he sent a message saying, "Please don't contact me until Monday morning. I can't discuss anything with you right now." Woo! So it looks like my universe is going to collapse. I'm gonna be fired and my wife will definitely find out why. Hold on, his wife didn't even know. I thought it was like, okay, you guys were both on the same page. Y'all just so happen to live together. Like y'all are gonna be splitting. You were having an actual fucking affair and you killed your mistress and you're about to lose your job. You see how the universe works? First of all, that girl is so protected by her ancestors. What are the odds? What are the odds that this man not only, I don't mean to say it like this, is gonna sound so bad, but you lose your mistress and your job and me? Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. Like, some people need to go through some shit. And when I say some shit to humble them. You were gonna flip over your 7-year relationship for a person you met a year ago. His wife is 28. They're together for 27 years. You were with her since she was 21. Some things happen to people and the universe is just like, you need to sit your big ass down and get humbled. And I love it. I love it. All I can do is hope that Amy's brothers showed them the messages from that weekend, and they were bad enough. I have no family except my wife and daughter, and nowhere to go. There's a child. Oh yeah, you're done. All my friends are either people I've met through my wife or my colleagues. On Monday, everything I've spent over a decade working towards disappears, and I can't stop it. I can't talk to anyone about it, so here I am. I know cheaters are the devil, so I'm not expecting sympathy, but this is making my chest hurt, and I need to get it out. It's making your chest hurt. You want to get it out? You should have got out of that fucking marriage. How about that? You should have got out of that fucking marriage before you open your legs up like a slut. And slept around, okay? Because who knows who else you slept with other than Amy. You were so easy to fall in love off one little lick of pussy. You were with that woman for 7 years. You got together when she was 21. You 35, she 28 now. Y'all have a daughter. You were willing to give it up for a 1-year affair and now your chest hurt, nigga? Or your chest hurt because the universe flipped the script on your ass. That woman is protected. I would have seen that. If I was the wife, I would have had to go play the lotto because I know my ancestors are all around me. What? Oh, the universe is working towards something greater. A netizen replied saying, "Can you imagine your beautiful, sweet daughter marrying a man she thought loved her? He made vows to her and he had a child with her. Only he found a young, impressionable little thing at work who he decided was 1% better than her and therefore was worth neglecting her and their child. Cheating on her for, risking his job by getting her promotion she wasn't qualified for and was planning to leave her for." Whoa, I didn't know all that. They didn't mention that. Hold on. This person was only 1% better. Your daughter cheated on by a piece of shit who only thought with his dick. What would you say about that? I want to say poor Amy because she lost her life in the end. But also, I'm sorry. This is going to sound really bad, guys. I'm sorry. Bitch. You were sleeping with a married man who you know was married. Because you can't be like, oh, I didn't know he was married. Look at his ring. Look right down at his hand. You know he has a daughter. There's no way he doesn't have a picture or two up. They've been married. And you had an allergic reaction. And instead of that man that's supposed to love you, he's supposed to love you, right? He loves you. He's going to leave his wife for you, his wife and his kid. He's going to leave his wife and his kid for you, right? But he couldn't even bring you to the hospital. I know when she was about to die, she was like, I can't believe I was with that fuck nigga. The next story says, my 52 female daughter, 32 female, had a baby recently and gave me horrifying news. Trigger warning, SA. This post is essentially what the title says. My daughter recently had a baby with her husband, and when I went to see the baby for the first time, she laid out some ground rules for the family. The majority of them were reasonable, like washing hands, no amber necklaces as gifts, respecting her privacy, etc. However, she mentioned that her grandfather would not be allowed to be alone with her baby. I thought this was very strange and out of the blue, so I asked her to clarify. She simply restated that he was not allowed to be alone with the baby, ever, at all, at any age. She always had conflict with her grandfather, no matter what. She refuses to have anything to do with him and speaks poorly of him whenever given the opportunity. She won't go to family dinners when she is there, she won't spend any sort of time with him, and we had to fight tooth and nail to get him invited to her wedding. She has problems with other family members, but she's never had a problem being cordial with them. Her grandfather is the one exception. We actually ended up in a screaming match when she was about 22 about her behavior towards him, where she couldn't, or I guess wouldn't, provide any solid reason as to why she hated him beyond he's a dick. Yes, he's an asshole, but no more than any other old man. Old men are just assholes, at least in my family. I tried to reason with her, since he's nearing the end of his life and would love to meet his great-grandchild, but she was very firm with me. I felt so stupid because it took me forever to realize why she didn't want him around her baby. She looked at me and firmly repeated that he was not allowed around her child alone under any circumstances. I asked what she meant by that, and she didn't say anything, just stared at me. At that point, I started suggesting that he had done something very wrong. And when I asked my daughter what he did, she only said, "You know, and I don't want to say it or talk about it." What, you know? I asked her again if he had done anything to her, if he had touched her or anything like that, and she just got teary-eyed and told me she didn't want to talk about it. I'm devastated. I never thought him to be capable of that kind of behavior, but it does make sense. It makes sense? All right, everybody. All right. Let's just take a few steps back. Imagine your child tells you something like this and you say, well, you know, that does make sense. If it made sense for you that fucking quick, that's a problem for me. That should not make sense. You should be flabbergasted. Oh my God, you should be fucking appalled. It makes sense? It makes sense that he's a child predator. What? I'll most likely be yelling for this episode, so excuse me. But does that make sense to y'all? There were a lot of things in my daughter's childhood that were abnormal. Infections, paranoia, depression, etc. Infections that I had chalked up to our family's mental health history and just luck of the draw. I never thought he had anything to do with those problems. I'm so lost now. We haven't talked since then, and I've been sobbing for hours. I can't stop. I don't know what to do, who to tell, or if I should tell anyone at all. How do I navigate this? I love my daughter very much, but I'm having trouble coming to terms with the actions of my father. I recently, and by recently I mean probably 7 months ago, probably 7, 8. Nah, man, maybe like 5 months ago. Let's just say 5 months ago. I told my mom that I was SA'd by a family member. And I remember telling my mom that I didn't want to be close to this person. I didn't want to be in the same room. I didn't want to be around. I didn't want to call. I didn't want to check on this person because I genuinely did not care. I'm going to assume that just like this parent, she was like, well, let's just chalk it up to, my girl is just a little depressed, which my mom didn't even take my depression seriously until recently. When I told her, no, I've had depression since I was 13. Not when I had the attempts. No, not the attempts. The suicide attempts wasn't enough, girl. When I became an adult and I told her, yeah, I have depression. She was like, oh, okay. You ain't got depression. And even to this day, she probably still don't believe me. So these are parents that notice, hey, something's wrong or something might be going on, but I'm not going to question it. Oh, they're just having a little hissy fit. Like, no, you question. You look into things. That's like, yes, sometimes kids are going to be annoyed by you looking into things, but you'd rather be a fucking good parent and know or find out. Like, I would rather a parent that is annoyingly healthy than a parent that just doesn't care at all. Because I'm sorry, I just can't see a child that all of a sudden has so much anxiety, so much depression, so much paranoia. Where did that come from? That's not something I'm looking over, and maybe it's because of what I've gone through. So now those are things that I notice, like, hey, okay, that's weird. Let's look into that. What do you guys think? Am I just projecting, low-key? Y'all let me know. So, update. I visited my daughter this morning. She did not seem upset with me and was more excited about her baby than anything, which was lovely to see. I figured she just wanted to drop the topic, but I felt it was important that I at least apologized. I apologized for forcing him to come to her wedding. What? She was insistent that it was fine. I was insistent that it was not. I apologized for failing her as a mother and not being more aware of her behavior and feelings. I promised her that if she would like, she would never have to even hear about her grandfather again. It would be like he never existed. Someone in the comments suggested I offered to get her wedding photos edited so that my grandfather wasn't in any of them. And she did take me up on the offer. I asked her what she wanted to do and made it clear that I would support whatever decision she made. She said that enough time has passed and that she had gotten enough therapy on her own that his evil actions doesn't affect her as much as they used to. She said she doesn't really think about it anymore, only when she's around him. She does not want to pursue legal action against him. However, she does not want him to have any contact with her or anyone else in the family. I told her that I would make it happen however I needed to. I made it clear that she is under no obligation to forgive me, as I wouldn't if I were in her shoes. We hugged a lot and we cried a lot. We will not be acting on anything until she feels comfortable, which she said might take a while as she's very tired and emotional postpartum. I will be quietly asking my mother not to allow my father around any of the children in our family until we get things sorted out. My daughter gave me permission to tell my mother loosely what happened. My mother is a very private woman, so we both felt comfortable telling her. My daughter is well beyond that. She doesn't seem angry or hurt, but then again, she's had years to come to terms with this thanks to my lack of awareness. Her baby is very beautiful and healthy, and she is very calm, which will be good for her right now. She's happy and excited to be a mother. I won't fail my grandchild like I failed her, and I will never fail my daughter again. I would like to ask a question though. To the people messaging me with death threats, telling me there's still time to kill oh my God, and wishing violent grape against me, how are any of you less of a monster than my father? Woo! Even if those things did happen to her, that's not gonna change what happened to the daughter. Just saying. I'm gonna be honest, I can appreciate her taking responsibility. When she found out, she was of course heartbroken because imagine finding out your dad is it's a R word, you know, he's an R word. And on top of that, it was your child. I'd kill him, but everybody's not me, okay? Actually, I won't even do that. He about to die anyway. I just make his life a living fucking hell. Damn, is she the devil? I think she failed her daughter. I think a lot of parents fail their children very often, but I don't know, the devil? Yeah, you the devil for ignoring it. I take it back, I do know my verdict. She's the devil because you noticed that your child was going through depression, paranoia, anxiety, was getting infections, and you didn't take a note, you didn't, nothing. You just sat there and ate your fucking food. You just ignored all of that. Right. I left the country to avoid paying child support for a kid I didn't want. This might be a little controversial for me to say, simply because of the time that we live in, but I've wasted my time enough for me to know that I don't plan on laying down with another person simply for fun, because I literally don't want the problems that could come with having sex with someone unprotected. You could either be pregnant, you can get STD, you can get I personally feel like if you're having sex, you have to at least have in your mind that the person that you're laying with could be a parent to a child at some point. And that child could be yours if something happens while y'all having sex. Because the pussy was good when you was in it, but the pussy not good because it's pushing out a baby. Right. I had been with my girlfriend over a year at the time. Oh, this was your girlfriend? We were both 22 and just out of university, getting started on our careers. One night she tells me she missed her period. We got a test and it turned up positive. Mind you, I was a bit surprised because I always use protection, and she told me she was on birth control. We had discussed this prior and had decided to hold on from having kids at least until 5 years later when we were both set, so I was sure we'd safely abort. I thought I'd just be there to comfort her and give her the time to process what's happening. 3 weeks later, and she tells me she wants to keep it. I kept pleading with her, telling her I'm not ready and we're not going to be okay financially, but she insists that this is what she wants and that we'll be happy. I firmly told her I was not on board, and she responded saying it was her sole decision and she'd made up her mind. We decided to take a break from each other because of the constant fighting and eventually decided to part ways. I speak with my parents about this, and while I was initially planning to stay back and help raise the kid, they convinced me that it's best if I leave the country. My father was a dual citizen for both the US and another country, which I also inherited. We spoke to multiple lawyers, and I knew that I would be untouchable by US courts, and there weren't any enforceable child support treaties with that country. Last I heard, she had a successful pregnancy and was reaching out to all of our mutual contacts to try and reach me. I only disclosed this to a few close friends who thankfully didn't share anything with her. I do sometimes wonder what it would have been like to raise the child, and I do wish her well. But not having any say in the final decision and being forced into it still gives me nightmares. Okay, I don't see myself laying down with someone that I couldn't see being a father to my kids. Like, because I understand that I'm on birth control, right? I'm on birth control, but it's for my acne and it's for my hormones. Okay, cool. Yeah, PCOS, cool. But I understand that if, let's say the condom breaks and it's just one of those days where, 99% chance, it's just one of those 1% days where a child makes it. Boom. I'm not opening my legs up for a fuck nigga. I feel bad because this girl probably did not expect that kind of reaction out of a man that she was with for a year. This man is quite literally the devil. And simply because you didn't feel any emotion, not even just towards the baby. Okay, you didn't want the baby, but the person you were with for a year, having your child by herself. Oh, I told her I didn't want to have. Well, you shouldn't have opened up your legs and slang that dick. You made your decision when you lie down with that person. And the more and more time that goes by, I noticed that sex is not just sex. I used to think sex was, it's just sex. It's not. It's not, personally. Or if sex is going to be just sex, it's going to be just sex with a person that is not only financially stable, mentally stable, and capable of being a father, okay? I need to see if you have any little cousins, how you act around kids, all right? I'm looking at those type of things. And you don't even got to be my man for me to look at those type of things. It's just your character. Because a person like this that's willing to leave the fucking country to avoid taking care of the child that you both produced. I think the parents might be worse than the son though. Because how do you raise a son this way and then encourage that behavior? And instead of you being like, well, son, you laid down with this girl, you said you loved her at some point, this was your girlfriend, you're about to have a child. You need to step up and be a man and be a fucking father. I don't understand how his parents encouraged that behavior, but obviously that was an option for him and he took it. This story is originally from Am I Overreacting? Someone took it and placed it into Am I the Devil? So, my best friend cheated before her sister's wedding and I don't know if I want to be friends anymore. I know from the sound of the title, it seems like I'm overreacting, but I need to see if I actually am. This doesn't have much to do with the actual cheating, it was the tipping point. Okay, my 21 female best friend / honorary sister, let's call her Ella, 21 female, has been in my life since we were born. She's been an active participant in my life on and on since I can remember. Myself, Ella, and the other bridesmaids had a weekend planned for bride's bachelorette. The night of the party, Ella disappeared after having drank a lot and none of us knew where she was. The batch party was ruined because myself, the bride, and 2 other bridesmaids spent over an hour trying to find her because she wouldn't tell us where she was. She's a wanderer and none of us, including her, knew the area very well. She comes back to where we are over an hour later, come to find out she was trying to cheat on her now ex-boyfriend. Now the cheating is not the problem for me. The problem for me was that she lied to everyone multiple times as we were calling and texting her to try and find her. That made me realize that she lies with ease and makes me wonder what else she's lied to me about. It's also making me think I shouldn't be friends with her anymore, but I don't know. Am I overreacting? Okay. So it wasn't the cheating. It wasn't the fact that she's able to lie to her partner. It's the fact that she was able to lie to me. I personally had to learn this the hard way. So y'all know that I made the fake friends, I made that fake friends video based off of my relationship with my ex-best friend, and we split up, we split apart. We split apart 3 times. This recent time that we started being friends, I debated being her friend because literally the same day that we went out to try and rekindle our friendship, this bitch told me that she cheated on her partner. Right? She cheated on her partner with a man from her job and caught chlamydia and didn't know what to do because that man was in a little bind with his ex-girlfriend where he was paying for her a dorm/apartment, and she didn't know if he wanted to take her seriously. I don't know why, how, what made me want to be friends with this person after hearing that, okay? Because I heard that and I was like, I don't think I can be friends with her. She has not changed nor evolved as a person. Bitch, you about 22. This is in the past, okay? One, you sleeping with somebody you don't know without a condom? Let's just start there. And then on top of that, you have a boyfriend. That in itself threw me off because I was like, what's wrong with you? Like, genuinely, what's wrong with you? And now that everything has worked out the way it did, where we're not friends anymore, I should have went with that first thought that I had, that this person will never and can never be a good friend. And you want to know why? I don't mean to put this girl business out there, but I really don't give a fuck about the bitch. I really don't. The moment I should have known better, she told me something 2 years ago that I would always look at her funny about. This girl had a best friend in early college, late high school, right? She was fucking her best friend nigga behind her best friend back for months. She told me that one time the best friend was waiting for them downstairs and they were upstairs in her house having sex. Came downstairs, act like nothing happened. And that made me look at her differently. I looked at her with one eye open from then on. And I should have known, again, I'm human, okay? I'm human and I was young. I should have known from that moment, the fact that I feel like I have to look at you with one eye open if I'm trying to go to sleep tells me that you should not be my friend. You should not be my friend. I should have, but I try and give grace to people because I understand that we're human and things happen. So I think both of those scenarios where I was like, okay, maybe we could try and be friends, but I still have that discomfort. Not everybody deserves grace, bitch. Some people are just fucking assholes, okay? Some people just nasty, girl. Some people just nasty, and the people that you have around you make up who you are. Unfortunately, fortunately, however you want to put it, okay? I only started to realize this when I started this self-love journey. So yeah, I could have like 10,000 friends right now, but if all of them are fake, all of them like have no ambition, all of them have no desire to become a better person, what's the fucking point in having friends like that around you when you're doing literally the opposite? So I want to be like, oh bitch, you should have known, but I've given people grace, okay? Stupidly in the past. It'll never fucking happen again. But I've given people grace because I understand that people do fucked up shit. Humans are fucked up. But even with grace, I will never fully trust you and I'll never fully trust that person. That's my opinion. If you feel like you can never really trust somebody, just don't even be friends with them. Like there's no point. Because then you're going to get to where I was like 3 weeks ago. I don't even remember when we stopped being friends. We're going to get to that point where I'm like, you're a really bad friend and I don't want to be friends with you. And I'm only noticing this like 6 months after we just rekindled our relationship because you said that you would be better. You said you would do better as a friend. Just don't let people feed on your fucking energy, because if you let them, trust me, they will take the chance. They will take the chance. They will lie in your face. They will talk shit about you behind your back, and you will never know. You will never know if it's the case unless you hear it, of course, like something like that. But just if you have to be wary of someone in general, just don't have no friends at all. I'd rather be alone than have a whole bunch of fake friends, whole bunch of fake fans. I just would rather be alone, girl. All right, the next story we have here says, I ruined my wife's life. I, 27 male, ruined my wife's 26 female life. When I came into the picture, she pretty much had her life nearly perfect. She had her business in full swing and was incredibly successful. She had her very active hobbies, which she partook in every day and blended it with her work. She was very fit and in great shape. She was maintained in part by her hobbies being active. She was really happy with her life. Then I came along, fell in love basically immediately, and within a couple months, she ended up pregnant. Oh, I'm sorry. I feel like I just been shot. That's my fault. I didn't even mean to overreact like that. I'm over here moaning in motherfucking mic and shit. It felt like somebody just shot me in the stomach. Why the stomach? I couldn't tell you. She was nervous but ecstatic. She had the baby because she knew how badly I wanted a family. You see? And that is a red flag. She had the baby because she knew how you wanted a family. Not she had the baby because we wanted a family. Y'all seeing the difference? when you start listening to people's words and you watch their body language and their actions, like everything is just right there for you. Just so you know, everybody, everything is just right there. You just got to listen to people. Just listen. The pregnancy was hard on her energy wise. It pretty much exhausted her to the point where she couldn't do any of her hobbies, which were all activity based. So that was off to a bad start. As the pregnancy went on, her self-image took a plunge as her athletic body grew. Even though she bounced back to her pre-pregnant weight, she says she can barely stand to look at herself in the mirror anymore. Aww, damn girl, why you had that big? What the fuck, you 26? Oh my God. Giving birth was traumatizing. 36 hours of labor, her epidural failed, so she had to suffer through it naturally. Last minute complications made it so they had to unexpectedly reach in and pull out our son, which was incredibly painful for her. And then the hospital staff basically abandoned her to her own devices. They didn't show her how to clean herself or anything. She had to YouTube it. They also completely forgot to give her her prescription pain meds the full 5 days we were there, so she suffered bad withdrawals and immediately they cut her off of them. Wow. We came home and our maid basically let the house get filthy. Maid? I'm sorry, we stepped into a different income bracket, so it threw me off. All right, maid. The maid also lets my wife's service dog out in the rain and didn't dry him like instructed. So the service dog got skin infections. Those were expensive vet bills. Yes, we let her go. Then I had to go back to work right away because the job I got to insure us didn't offer paternity leave because of how new I was. And our baby was colicky, so it was hell on my wife to manage him while still trying to heal. And then when my wife did try to start her business back up, turns out it's almost undoable with a screaming newborn, which we previously were led to believe that we could balance it between naps and such, but that was not the case at all. So my mother moved in to help watch the baby while my wife, the breadwinner, she's the breadwinner. I almost fainted, y'all. Swear, like it got dark. It felt like I closed my eyes were open. Worked to keep a roof over our heads, and I worked to keep us insured. Also a big falling out with my mother, who was getting controlling over how we raised our kid and tried to shut out my wife. So now she isn't in the picture, and because we need my insurance for the next baby, and for that, things are boiling down to my wife having to give up the business that she built to be a stay-at-home mom, which she hates. So basically, I came into my wife's perfect life, and 1, put an end to her hobbies, 2, ruined her self-image, 3, crippled her business, 4, stripped away her identity, and 5, put her through a traumatic event that may mentally scar her for her whole life. And on top of it all, before people say, but you gave her a son, she doesn't love him. Every time she sees him, he's the reminder of how she was mistreated in the hospital. Every time he cries, he is a reminder of how she lost her business because of him. Every time he cries and wakes her up in the night is a reminder that her happy life is gone. I ruined everything that she loved, and she knows it. And I hate knowing that I'm the worst thing that's ever happened to her. I'm gonna just read the edit that they got here. Edit. Just woke up and haven't gone through all the comments yet, but I feel the need to clarify. When we found out she was pregnant again, I was the first to suggest abortion because I know how much she hated everything prior and 100% will back up her choice. But so far that choice is to keep it because she doesn't think she can go through with abortion. Partially because she knows I've always wanted a big family, partially because she wants this time to be different, and partially because her family basically demonized her at the thought of it, so she doesn't want to lose them. When I say I'm thrilled, I mean because I've always wanted a big family, and that was something we originally bonded over until the regret of the first one set in, and thrilled that so far she has decided to keep it. I'm gonna be honest with you, this just sounds like a woman that wasn't ready for kids. I know you will never be ready for kids, but if you can't even look at your baby, oh my God, I'm just thinking about the fact that she was the breadwinner. And she basically lost her job because of a baby that she partially didn't even want to have. It was for a man that isn't even the breadwinner. I'm sorry, I don't mean to say it like that. But if I'm not at work and money's not being made, I'm not having a baby. I'm not. We got to get a surrogate. I'm not having a child if I'm the one that makes the money. I make the money. Nigga, you get pregnant. Unless I can lay down, kick my feet up, push out this baby, and be able to take care of this child and still know that bills are going to get paid. That's different. But she the one that make the money and she gotta lay down and have the baby, and then you couldn't even get up off of her. She got pregnant again. You dog, you damn dog, you damn fucking dog, you selfish dog. Oh my gosh, we got another person that said, I feel awful about how I feel about my wife. Why is marriage even a thing if no one cares about it? Like, what? Apologies in advance. This may turn into an emotional rant. Just had our 12th anniversary this year, and it was the worst anniversary we have ever had. For years, I've complained to her that I feel like her roommate rather than her husband and father to her children. Why do I feel like this? Because whenever I try to show affection, such as a random hug or a kiss, or just coming up behind her and putting my arms around her and telling her how I love her, she either physically pushes me away or verbally does. Damn, that's kind of interesting seeing how different people are and what they want. Like in my last relationship, this is literally all I wanted my partner to do. And I said, that's what helps me feel desired by you. And you're like, is your desire just based off of physical? No, obviously not, but I do enjoy it. That's what love languages are. That's why I'm very particular in asking someone what their love languages are, especially if I'm gonna be around you for an extended amount of time. I want to know how you feel loved. I don't know how you feel desired, how you feel wanted, how you feel sexy. Let me know. Like, why would a wife not want affection from her husband? This isn't just a one-time thing. It's a constant issue that I've been complaining about to her for years. When I get really adamant about it and tell her how it makes me feel unwanted and unloved, she will change her behavior for a little while and then eventually goes right back. In other day-to-day interactions, it seems like she thinks the worst of me, making comments to our marriage counselor of all people that when it comes to some financial decisions, I'm just going to do whatever I want. That broke me. I have never made a financial decision without talking to her about it before. And when she said that in counseling, I was just absolutely crushed as I realized she thinks so little of me. It's when you be like, okay, so what did I spend money on? Like, I would be like, okay, what did I spend money on? The shoes? All right. The food? Okay. I like to splurge a little on some food. All right. The plants? All right, you got me. You're right. Take the card. Here, just take the card. That's how I'd be. I'd be like, just take the card. You're right. I do spend a little bit. Take some accountability. Because if she's saying that you spend a lot, that probably means when it comes to intimacy, I have to practically beg for any kind of contact. And then during, I feel like I'm graping her. Ooh, because I can tell she's just doing it to shut me up. Ew. I've stopped being able to finish with her. Ew, I don't like this. I don't like, if y'all can't even have intimacy outside of sex, what made, like, that wouldn't be on the bucket list. Like, I'd be like, that's just that. We're not worrying about that right now. Sex is not what I'm focusing on. Because then it gets like this, where it's like you're just doing it to do it, not because you want to do it. And it's just weird. I don't know. It's weird for me. All right. So I tried stopping all of my attempts at any affection with her. No more hugs or kisses or sex initiated by me. I stopped jumping up when she got home and excitedly talked to her about her days. I started withdrawing from her and spending more time out of the house with friends, doing things that made me happy. I spent more time with my son and daughter, and I was getting along just fine. She claimed she noticed me pulling away but never said anything about it. Didn't make any attempts at affection or talking to me about it. Nothing. I got a second job that ends up with me interacting with a lot of different women. Some of them show me more affection than my wife does. Excuse me? I can't help to desire them over my wife. Not that I'm acting on it, but the feelings are there. Finally, it comes up during counseling, and I admit that I don't feel the way I used to. I find myself wanting to be with other people more than I want to be around her. After counseling, we had another talk, and I felt horrible telling her how I felt. It just poured out of me. I didn't yell as I wasn't mad. I was just extremely sad. And I felt guilty because I know she loves me and doesn't want to end things, but I just feel emotionally checked out. Once she realized I was ready to call it quits, everything changed. Suddenly, she was showering me with affection every day, all day. She finally stopped sitting on the other side of the couch, ignoring me, and would snuggle up to me wanting to be held. She would initiate kisses. She would initiate sex. She was suddenly the fun girl that I dated all those years ago and not this miserable person that ruined nearly every interaction with other people. Oh my gosh. In the past, she wouldn't take part in any real get-togethers or even just wanting to do fun things with us as a family. Forget it if my family wanted to do things. All she would do is complain about it the whole time. She would be the proverbial wet blanket. Not anymore. Now she's the first to suggest doing something fun. She's laughing again and trying to have fun. She's basically being everything I could have asked her to be again. Now I feel awful that it's not working. I feel the same. Like it's too late for me emotionally. In the back of my mind, all I can think is this is a temporary thing and it's going right back to the way it was soon. This doesn't feel like a loving marriage anymore for me. It feels like I'm with a girl who really wants to be with me, but I'm just staying so I don't hurt her feelings. It's not fair to her. She's not all bad. She's a great mother and a great partner. She takes care of the house and she got a great job. And she supported me throughout the years, which makes me feel worse about how I feel. Do I just give up? Is there a way to fall back in love with her? I don't know what to do or if I'm just being crazy. Help. So she works and she takes care of the house. Okay, see, now listen. I was semi-listening, but when you said she do everything around the house, she has 2 jobs and 3 babies. You, the daughter, the son. A fucking course. She's not the fun girl that she was before. Cause she doing every fucking thing around the house. And she has work. And she has to worry about the relationship with her kids, the relationship with her husband, the relationship she has to worry about all this bullshit. And you telling me you complaining about, oh, she's not as fun as she used to. She's literally being spread thin. And then on top of this, instead of you being a husband that's like, oh man, let me try and help you with, I know you're working and let me try and, you worried about how you ain't getting no pussy. Do I feel like this is where she should have said, hey, I'm being spread thin. Okay? I have a job. I have to take care of these fucking kids. I have to take care of this house. I gotta take care of you. Maybe communication is what, bro, it's crazy how all you have to do is talk. It doesn't even solve the problem, but at least the problem is acknowledged. We need to stop going nonverbal. All y'all have to do is just talk. But I feel like there was just a Band-Aid slapped onto a big ass crack. And that sounds crazy, but that's exactly what happened. And it was just never fixed or resolved. So instead of worrying about me, I would worry about us. Do I think he's the devil? No, come on. I don't think he's a fucking devil. I do think that he's an asshole. Oh my gosh, wait, guys, I just noticed while on the thread, there's an update to the My Negligence Cost My Partner Her Life guy. There's an update. I've been constantly harassed for an update since posting, so please take it. Gloat because you're such a wonderful person in comparison. Then stop following me around Reddit. Ooh! I'm suffering in the wake of my infidelity and unprofessional behavior as I knew I would. I understand that it is an appropriate outcome and I'm taking full accountability. Okay. I was suspended from work on Monday and I'll probably be fired sooner than I thought. I'd hoped to be able to save money as HR built their case, but it looks like Amy's brother basically performed the entire investigation for them. After an excruciating 3-hour run through of everything they had, I spoke to the founder and he recommended the solicitor I am now using. The issue is that the company has to come down hard to protect themselves, because even though Amy's family doesn't have much chance of a claim, any suggestion of a cover-up would cause damage regardless. The founder still thinks my offer to pay them back will keep it out of court, and some more information has come to light, so it's not certain I won't be prosecuted, but I'm quietly hopeful. I can't afford to keep the solicitor if this goes much further, especially with a divorce on the horizon. Oh! Things are not good with my wife. I'm still committed to making this as easy as possible for her, but I had to draw a line when it came to my daughter. When I got home from being unceremoniously escorted out of my office, she already had a bag packed for me. Snap! She ain't even need to say nothing. She said, just so you know my intentions, your bag is at the door. Your bag is at the door. Your bag is at the potla. Your bag is at the potla, okay? Your bag is at the door, okay? She wouldn't let me wait at the house. She wouldn't let me wait at the house until my daughter was back. She wouldn't let me check I had everything I needed. And she wouldn't let me take the car. And she didn't care that I had nowhere to go. I spent 2 nights in a hotel, then went back when she refused to let me see my little girl. She tried to stop me, but we owned the house jointly and it was my only option. My wife has family she could stay with, but she won't leave our daughter here, and she's absolutely not taking her. So we're at a stalemate right now. I'm keeping out of her way as best as I can, which I appreciate is the least I can do. The Amy situation is quite difficult to talk about, and it hasn't sunk in yet. It turns out that she didn't love me as much as I loved her, if at all. Her brother sent me images of her talking to her friends about me, and it's hard to believe they came from the person I loved, but they are real. Sorry to those who were invested in me being a predatory abuser, but she and her friend had a good laugh about her manipulating me for money and a promotion. The role came with a big pay rise, and it looks like her plan was to treat it as free cash, then go work with one of her friends when it fell through. She knew I'd come under scrutiny whenever she messed up, and assumed I'd keep stepping in to save her. She was right. I'm sorry. She played that nigga like a motherfucker fiddle. Damn, Amy. Damn, we lost one. You see, Amy, I don't condone you fucking with that nigga, okay? And you know he was married. But she said, I'm gonna leave here with something. Oh, I'm gonna leave here with something. You can't try and leave here with something and you got allergies, bitch. You can't be trying to leave here with something and you're one of the weaker links. I'm sorry, I'm one of the weaker links too. My eyesight is not the best, okay? We're in a similar, you know what I mean? Yours a little worse than mine, a lot worse than mine. But shit, I wouldn't be trying to get nothing on nobody. I know I'm allergic to motherfucking peanuts. Bitch slapped me in the face with a nutty buddy and it's over for me. I'm not doing that. That's just me. If I got an allergy, I'm living my life as gracefully and as positively as possible. I'm never doing anything for karma to come and bite me in my motherfucking coochie lips. Because look, obviously I'm completely humiliated. I was planning to give up everything to build a life with her, and she was treating me like a joke the whole time. Oh no, if she lived, he would have broke it off with his wife, ruined his life, and then try and date her and start a life with her. And she's like, oh no, nigga, I just wanted the promotion and the money. I was trying to get my money up. Move. Oh, and then he would have been all alone regardless. My feelings are complicated, so please don't feel entitled to any explanation on this, but I no longer feel guilt over her death. Oh, okay. It's kind of crazy. You should feel guilty. You still dropped her off. You still dropped her off at her house to die. So you should feel guilty. And you're losing your job over it. Reddit acted like I held her hostage while she begged for help. What actually happened was that I asked if she could ask her friend to take her to the hospital because I had to go home. She said that was fine because she needed to get some clothes back from hers anyway. And I dropped her off as normal. Ultimately, she was an adult who had a better understanding of her medical needs than I did. I still don't know what happened between us saying goodbye and her death, but whatever it was, it had nothing to do with me. I'm sorry for her family's loss, but I bear no responsibility for her passing. Ooh! After Amy's messages to her friends were passed around, a few people quietly reached out with words of support. I assumed everyone would write me off like Reddit did as an abuser and predator, but it's clear that Amy was using me. They see me as a fool who had then lost it all. It's beyond humiliating, but I have learned I'd rather be pitied than despised, and it improves my legal position with work. They're small mercies, but I'll take what I can. I remain filled with regret, and I have learned many lessons by the time I get through this. I may have been deceived, but I'm a grown man who made my choices and I take full responsibility of them. A netizen replied, I always love how ready these men are to believe this random woman loves them so much. They have no concept that they could be being used. Another person said, especially a person who gets angry when ignored. The whole "it doesn't happen often" is only because the other person tries not to ignore them to avoid the repercussions. And then another person replied, in parentheses, I would have more than made it up to her. Oh, so you would have love bombed her so she'd think it wasn't that bad, and you still have your good sides too, huh? Ah, yes, makes sense. Okay, you see how these people had the same response to that? That was not healthy at all. And there goes the magic word again, love bomb. Man, they just keep getting away with it. Listen to this one. I cheated on my wife 3 years ago. She agreed to forgive me if we opened the marriage, but now I live in agony every day. Period. I've always said if a partner decides to have the gall to cheat on me, just so you know, if you want to stay together, we're open. We are no longer monogamous. Because now, when I look at you, pussy lips, all I can think of is you sleeping with another person. which isn't healthy. It's not healthy. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to counseling, right? We're going to go to counseling and we're going to figure out how we can work out this open relationship that we have. Since you want to stay together, yeah, I'll forgive you, of course. I will forgive you, but I'm getting my back blown out by Jerry, okay? I'm getting my back blown out by Jerry. I don't even know who the fuck Jerry is, but that's my magical back blown out guy, okay? He's going to blow his back out. Simply because why? You want to go get some pussy? I want to go get some dick and some pussy. Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it. Oh, you freaked out? Oh, we both freaked out, Poppy. Yeah, she literally, that's exactly what I would do. Oh, you want to stay together, baby? Okay, well, we're in an open marriage now. Or I got a boyfriend or a girlfriend. And you just gonna have to deal with them coming by on Sundays, Mondays, and motherfucking Thursdays, okay? Because that's their days off. They get 3 days off in a week, so just so you know. And they make a lot more fucking money than you. So we're actually going to motherfucking Japan at the end of this month. Just letting you know. Just letting you know. Don't wait up. So basically my wife, 39, found out that I, 41, have been hooking up with a woman I met online who lived 2 hours away. You were driving 2 hours away for that coochie? And now you mad at me because I want to open up the marriage. When a woman visited, we checked into a hotel. Okay, she came. Never mind. Stupid. This went on for 3 months and we had met a handful of times when my wife caught us. She was waiting in the hotel lobby and caught us coming down from the room. She left me the next day. We separated for 8 months and they were terrible on all of us, especially the children. Male 9, female 7, and female 3. So you cheated on your wife and 3 kids. Because I feel like when you cheat, you're not just cheating on just the partner if you have children. You're cheating on the partner and the kid. My wife thought that since our sex life wasn't enough for me and she was sure I would cheat on her again, we might as well open up the marriage. I told her no because I've learned my mistake, but she wouldn't waver. I relented. She decided not to tell each other the when, where, and with whom. Now, over 2 years later, we are back to normal on the outside. On the inside, I'm dying a little each day. Every time I see her happy, I wonder if this is just her old bubbly self or if she's thinking of someone. She is a very beautiful woman and I'm sure she has no problem finding men who want her. Whenever she takes a shower after coming home, whenever she rejects my advances, I think that she'd been with someone and that kills me. I've tried to discuss closing the marriage again, but she shuts those attempts very quickly with the divorce card. Before all this happened, we had amazing sex several times a week, but now we probably have done it 4 to 5 times these past 3 years. She demanded I use protection, and she refuses to let me eat her or make her come in any way. I stopped asking because the sex is painfully bad now. I haven't slept with anybody else because the look on my wife's face in that lobby still makes me sick with guilt. I don't know how much more I can take. I love my wife and I want to spend the rest of my life with her. Will she ever stop punishing me? Have you ever forgiven a cheating spouse and stopped punishing them? What goes on in her mind? So y'all were having great sex and you still decided to cheat with someone that lived 2 hours away. You're never fucking satisfied. I'm getting my back blown out by Jimmy, the back blown out guy, okay? Because you were being greedy. I think what's really killing him is the thought that, oh, someone else is giving her better dick than me, most likely. Because she's beautiful, she's funny, she's smart, the sex is great, and I know it is because I had that before. And you gave it up for a woman that lived 2 hours away. I'm just, for 3 months of fun with a woman, and you have kids at home. She's an angel. I think he's an asshole. Well, not even an asshole. He's the devil. I would say he's the devil only because of 3 kids. Of course, cheating is horrible, all right? And then cheating on your wife is even worse. And then cheating on your wife and kids, that just draws the line. That's like demon territory. But thank you for watching this episode. Y'all take care, brush your hair, and watch that motherfucking derriere, girl. Quick disclaimer, I am creating a new link for the confession. So if you go down to the description area, you'll see that I have a new link. You can put your submissions there, and I'm going to start back up Pillow Talk. See you guys. I love you. Mwah.